Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to the Daily Beast podcast. I'm Joanna Coles, Chief Content Officer of the Daily Beast.
And I am Samantha Bee, Chief Content Officer of RFK Jr.'s wardrobe of thick, tight, sweaty workout jeans. But first, you had your holiday party last night, and I heard you were cutting a rug.
Cutting a rug? What is that from the 50s?
It is. The 50s. Well, you said tickles are fancy.
Okay, so we're doing 50s jargon.
We're doing 50s, but we used to say, in our family, we would say, it tickles me pink, which I think is dirty.
Oh.
Isn't that dirty?
Well, what is the pink?
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to say. But I will tell you what tickles my pink. No, I won't. I'll tell you what tickles my fancy is actually RFK Jr. working out in his jeans. Like, in a way that makes me throw up.
I was going to say,
disgusting.
I would be very nervous if you were excited by RFK working out, because he's working out topless. For those who haven't seen the pictures, which were everywhere.
Everywhere.
He's also doing a lot of certainly topless stuff, because there was that video of him for Cheryl Hines's beauty line.
He's constantly topless and doing pull-ups and chin-ups.
And he was in the shower in her
jeans.
video for her body cream, I think, or soap.
Do you think that they work out topless in their jeans together?
I hope so. I hope so.
No.
The couple that work out topless stay together,
They
which
do.
is not obviously what he did with his last couple of wives.
I have so many notes about what we would call his jeans line if he were ever to create them.
Go on. I think...
Well, my top choice is yeasty jeans. My top choice is yeasty jeans, but also... We were wondering in our pre-meeting, when we actually do discuss the things that we're going to discuss on this podcast. I know that's hard to believe if you're listening right now.
Because I don't remember us discussing yeasty jeans.
Well, I remember us discussing in detail how often we think that he washes his jeans. And I think the answer is not very often.
I bet RFK Jr. is one of those people that thinks if you just leave your jeans for a few days, they self-clean.
They self-clean.
Like cashmere is supposed to do.
Cashmere is supposed to, it does not self-clean.
Cashmere is supposed to self-clean.
Okay,
You just take your cashmere sweater off, you leave it for a few days, and it's supposed to self-clean. I'm confident RFK Jr. thinks that's what his jeans do.
Well, his jeans have a salt crust. And
they probably stand on their own.
I'm sure they do, and I'm sure they're trying to run out the door, just like
of course they are,
just like the rest of us.
Trying to get vaccinated from him.
God! Now, speaking of running out the door, Kimberly Guilfoyle exiled to Greece.
This is such.
Wow!
Can we just have a moment, because I grew up. I grew up in Europe, so I spent some time on the Greek islands, But actually, I feel aligned to Greece because my parents' first album was by a Greek singer called Nana Mouskouri.
Oh, Joanna, I remember Nana Mouskouri well. We had an Austin Mini in our family, and we had an 8-track tape player in the Austin Mini, and we had exactly one 8-track, and that was Nana Mouskouri with her big, thick glasses and her face mole with little hairs coming out of it.
Which I think in Greece is a sex symbol.
I think so. She's the Britney Spears of Greece in the 1970s. Do you remember the song?
Well, I remember White Rose of Athens, which is what the album was called. And my parents proudly displayed it. And the interesting thing about it was they'd actually bought it for a friend who was ill and then died. And so my dad bought the album, and we had it propped up as, because consumerism was just beginning then, and it was a sign of... Well, it was a sign.
So you re-inherited
a Nana
Mouskouri album that you had given.
And I remember it was a black album, or the front was black. She was there in a white dress, the White Rose of Athens, and then there was a red rose sort of artistically put to one side.
Sure. Nana never leaves you. She just boomerangs right back into your life. Well, let me blow your mind right now. Love is a rose, but you better not pick it. It only grows when it's on the vine. Handful of thorns and you know you've missed it. You lose your love when you say the word mine. And then you clap. I don't remember the rest.
I don't remember that song.
Joanna turned all red.
That is just, well, it's just like the best
Just
moment of our podcast history
can
together.
Can you imagine Kimberly Guilfoyle getting that call I mean, it really is. Isn't that, I mean, we all were so outraged about lots of people were outraged about Joe Biden pardoning his son, but isn't this the ultimate pardon? Just exiling your son's ex-girlfriend to a lonely Greek island? She must have been like, who do I know who's Greek? Who do I know who's Greek?
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
I mean, I could see he could become very helpful in the Greek or the American embassy in Athens, I'm assuming is where she's going to be, where I have to say it's not great air quality in Athens. It gets very hot in the summer.
Get Maria Menounos on the phone.
Okay, who else is there? Ariana Stassinopoulos, Nay Stassinopoulos, Huffington.
Sissipas, yes.
Sissipas, the tennis player.
That's
now that
good.
would be. I could see them making some sweet Greek fun together.
Of course, Michael Dukakis. She doesn't know that Aristotle Onassis is long past, so she's like, get me one of the Onassis.
George Stephanopoulos.
I don't think that he'll be receiving a call.
It's just magnificent. So
Yes.
I want to go to Greece, lose my passport, and then have to drop in at the embassy and see if she's there. Do you think she'll be behind the counter stamping things?
Of course, that's what one does.
She's going to throw great parties. There's going to be a lot of fig leaves and what are they called? Dolmades.
Dolmades. What's going on with Prince Andrew?
Oh, so Tom Sykes is our royal correspondent based in the UK. And we have an extraordinary story about Prince Andrew, who once again has chosen badly in the Friends department. And you will remember, close observers, myopic readers of the Daily Beast on the royal family will know that Prince Andrew has been in trouble largely because, as he told the infamous BBC interviewer, which has now been the subject of not one, but 2 movies, that he was so honourable, he kept his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein going a little bit longer than it should have done. He was just so honourable, he couldn't break up that friendship. Well, now he's got a new friend. That's good, because he's been exiled from the royal family. He's got a new friend who, in fact, turns out to be a Chinese spy.
Oh, my God.
And what is so fascinating about this is the emails that have come to light between the Chinese spy and one of Andrew's advisors. And it turns out that the Chinese spy very quickly realizes that, in his words, Andrew is desperate. And I wanted to read, this is in a letter from one of the advisors to the alleged Chinese spy. I hope it's clear to you where you sit with my principal, i.e. Andrew, and indeed his family. You should never underestimate the strength of that relationship. Outside of his closest internal confidence, you sit at the very top of a tree that many, many people would like to be on.
Well, I hope he takes great comfort in all those corgis that he inherited.
Well, he did. He inherited the corgis after the Queen
They're
died.
his only friends.
Okay, so I just want to read one more bit of it, which is that this is from internal documents from the spy's phone. And there are, one of the statements is obviously looking for advice on how to deal with Andrew.
Yeah.
Important, manage expectations, really important, not to set too high expectations. He is in a desperate situation and will grab onto anything.
Oh my God. I would die on the spot if I read about myself in an email that someone said that I was so desperate that I would cling to literally anything.
This is, and you're, I mean, with greatest respect, you are not a member of the British royal family.
I certainly am not. Can you imagine what his family is thinking? They're like, Andrew, why don't you just take the longest walk off that terribly short pier? And when you just start swimming toward the horizon, don't come home.
I mean, this is devastating for King Charles.
Devastating.
Because it's his younger brother, and I'm sure he must feel to some extent protective of him. But there are now rumours that he may move to the Middle East and do a Juan Carlos, who, as you remember, when he was found with his hand in the Spanish royal family till moved off to the UAE. And I think there are now rumours that Andrew will move to Bahrain.
Well, a lot of people have pet tigers there. Watch those corgis.